In order to better understand magic, you must ask yourself the following question. Is reality based on mind over matter, as the idealist and rationalist schools of thought promote? Or is it based on matter over mind, as the materialist and empiricist schools of thought promote? To say that the mind is created out of matter by a random organization of mindless and lifeless atoms is to say that this assembly is the root cause of poetry, love, philosophy, purpose-driven existence, spirituality, and life itself. To claim that the mind arises from dead atoms is not only counterintuitive, but a categorical error. How can awareness emerge from what is entirely unaware? How can life emerge from lifelessness and mind from mindlessness? The mind is a non-local, eternal, indestructible mathematical frequency system. It is a dimensionless point outside space and time, a singularity. The mind is not and cannot be a product of matter. What we call dreams are internal frequency manifestations within our monadic mind. Entire experiential universes, born of waveforms, independent of physicality. The first Hermetic principle states that all is mind. Everything you see around you is mind stuff, energy relations between two or more minds. The source code of reality is pure mathematical syntax and semantics, the mathematics of being and becoming. Every thought you have, every desire, every fear, every enchantment is a wave function within a mathematically defined mental field. In ontological mathematics, the mind is a monad. The word monad comes from the Greek monos, and it stands for an individual unit that reflects the order of the world and from which material properties are derived. According to Leibniz, monads are the elementary units of existence. They are unextended and immaterial. Each monad is unique, indestructible, dynamic, and soul-like. The monad, or the mind, is a God in potential which seeks its actualization. Each one of us is a monad on a journey to self-actualization and apotheosis. The monad is immaterial and dimensionless. Hence, it is not made of atoms. It is not that you have frequencies, but rather that you are a frequency system. Spellcrafting allows the mind to alter its frequencies intentionally and transform them to different space-time mathematical functions, i.e. experiences. Your thoughts are your frequencies. Your beliefs are frequency resonance, and your traumas are entangled frequencies. A desire is a directional vector, and a spell is a wave-form collapse, imposed via focused intent. In mathematics and physics, a vector is something that has a direction, it goes somewhere, and a magnitude, how strong or intense it is. It can be represented as an arrow with the length of the arrow serving as its magnitude and the arrowhead as the direction. Imagine now the arrow flying in the air. The arrow's direction is your intention. The arrow's speed, force, is the magnitude or the emotional energy invested in your intention. How strongly you truly desire something. So when we say a desire is a directional vector, we mean that a desire is your soul aiming itself at a target. You want love? Your vector points toward the union. You want power? Your vector points toward mastery. You want freedom? Your vector points toward release. Naturally, not all desires are effective. If your desire is scattered, you are unclear of what you truly want, then your vector is weak. If you are conflicted and have inner doubts or clashing thoughts, then your vector is distorted. If you say you want something but do not do anything to get it, then you do not want it strongly enough, and your vector is impotent and powerless. Magic begins when our desires become clear, focused, energized vectors. Next, what is a waveform collapse? In quantum mechanics, a waveform represents all the possible outcomes. Quantum mechanics states that nothing is real until you observe or measure it. This is called the collapse of the wave function. However, this claim belongs to the Copenhagen interpretation of quantum physics, rooted in empiricism, subjectivism, and ultimately, nihilism. It is the creed of a reality that depends on measurement and senses. Reality, as we have understood, is not predominantly materialistic, but mental. Mind stands above matter and can exist without matter. Matter cannot exist without mind. In ontological mathematics, the wave is real. It exists regardless of measurement or observation by materialistic and empirical terms. The so-called collapse of the waveform is not caused by human measurement, but by internal mathematical interaction between monads, minds. All reality is made of eternal mathematical waveforms, sine over cosine functions. A waveform is ontologically real, not a probability cloud. A collapse happens within the mind, not because of an external observer. Collapse equals a monad, choosing to express a specific frequency configuration from its infinite inner content over all other possibilities. Your focused will does the collapsing, but not by measuring, rather by resonating, selecting, and transmitting a frequency via pure mental mathematics. If this content resonates with you and you feel that you have gained something valuable from it, please consider clicking on the like and subscribe buttons to follow the channel and show your support. You have no idea how much that helps. For more in-depth content, follow me on Patreon.